Did you just get hired in a new UX position? Have you snagged a new role within your company? What should you do in the first 30 days of getting hired in order to set yourself up for success in your new role? These are questions I'm going to answer in this video. But first, a little bit about me in case we've not met yet. I am Sarah Doody, a user experience designer and entrepreneur, and these episodes are filled with honest answers and insights to your questions about user experience design and technology. And we're in the middle of a series on getting a job in user experience right now. And now we're at the point where you've been hired, maybe you're starting at a new company, you have accepted a new role in your current company, and what do you do next? So starting a new job is always kind of exciting, but also intimidating because you're new and you're kind of starting all over. Even if you have 10 years of experience, it's still intimidating because it's maybe new people, new teams, new culture. What the heck do you do? So I would say there's some very strategic things you should do in the first 30 or 60 days. And what I recommend is that in the first 2 weeks, you should sit down with your boss and have a conversation about basically, what do they expect from you in the first 60 days or so? Now, they might initiate this on their own, but if they don't, I'd go ahead and initiate this yourself because it's going to make you seem very proactive and eager to provide a lot of value, but also to know what's expected of you. So in that kind of first meeting, I would say to your boss, I want to get a better understanding of what are the specific outcomes that you are expecting of me in, say, the next 30, 60, 90 days. And you want to focus on outcomes because the job description often is, but once you're hired, you need to get specific. So you want to focus or go from the kind of job outline to the job outcomes. So understand what projects are being worked on right now and which ones would they like you to be a part of? Which ones would they like you to maybe be an observer on versus a contributor to? Those are very different roles. But if you don't take time to ask those questions, you won't know, and then they might just assume you know these things, but that's really risky because it's better to ask than to assume and realize you assumed incorrectly. So figure out with your boss, what are the outcomes that are expected of you in the next 30, 60, or 90 days. Next, I would find a time to figure out how often you should be checking in with your manager. Now, of course, you do not want to be kind of that needy person that's constantly asking for feedback every day. That would just be annoying and show that maybe you aren't very confident. But one thing that really worked for me well, both as an employee and as a manager, was to send my boss every Friday a little email that kind of outlined 3 areas. First of all, it identified what I did that week. It next identified what I planned to do the following week. And it also identified areas that I felt were at risk or that I might be blocked on. And by getting into the habit of writing this email every Friday, it helped me see my contributions, which made me feel good, but also helped me know that I had constant communication with my manager so that there was really no excuse for there to be any surprises if something did come up in the future because they had always been in the loop about what I had done, what I was planning to do, and what I may need help with. So do something like this. It might be something great for you to ask if they'd like you to do because, again, it shows that you're proactive. It also shows that you're looking for feedback, and maybe you could position it as, I don't know if we need to do this on an ongoing basis, but in my first 2 months, I'd love to just keep you in the loop so that we're totally transparent about what I'm doing so that you know and you can help me course correct if I'm kind of on the wrong track. Because the worst thing that happens is 3 months into your new job, your boss comes to you and says, why were you working on that? Or why weren't you doing this? So checking in every week gives you a weekly opportunity to course correct. And it also shows that you are totally open to feedback, which is super important. The other thing I'd kind of draw a parallel to is that this frequent feedback is really similar to how we go about designing products, right? So in product development, we want to get into that cycle of launch and learn, launch and learn. What you don't want to do is do user research once a year and then only have one opportunity every year to make changes to your product based on user feedback. Whereas if you're doing research frequently, you have X amount more times to make changes that are driven by user feedback. So same thing applies to your actual career. So that's about it. It's pretty simple. In the first couple of weeks, sit down with your boss, get specific about the outcomes that they would like for you to produce, establish some check-in with them so they have a chance to give you feedback and so that they know that you're open to feedback too. And just don't be nervous to let them know if you're unclear about something, if you have questions, because it's better to ask than assume and realize you assumed wrong. So I hope that helps you in your first little bit in your new job or new job at the company you've been at for a while. That's all then. I hope you guys learned something. And if you want to learn more about user experience, you can get my weekly UX newsletter. It goes out every Friday. Just head on over to theuxnotebook.com and you'll get that next Friday. So thanks, guys, and I will talk to you in another episode, hopefully pretty soon. Talk to you later. Bye.